Yeah, so I said, sure, I'll be there. So I did go, and I did win. So I was the first official 198-pound, national powerlifting champion. And then after that, I was kind of bouncing around. Like I said, my family and job and house and everything else, and so many other things involved my life, and I couldn't just pay attention to lifting. I just couldn't do that.
And after 1965, though, bodybuilding kind of went by the wayside and powerlifting became your focus. And also, I'm going to guess that there probably has never been a most muscular America and a national powerlift champion both. So you fit into both.
Does the first place junior national Olympic mean anything or
no? Sure.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know what to say about that. That's neither here nor there as far as I'm concerned. But I think what really matters is that I was bouncing around at the time, because I didn't, like I said, I had so many other important family issues going on. So I would just train, and in 1969 then, Bob Guida entered me. Before that, in 67, I wasn't even trained, nothing entered me. I bombed out. I was terrible. Bob Guida said, oh, don't worry about it. You'll be fine. Yeah, well, thanks, Bob. But I wasn't fine. I didn't do well in either the bodybuilding or the power. So I figured, I got to do this on my own. I can't just listen to other people. But in 69, they had it in Chicago again, the Mr. America. And I said, oh, geez, at DePaul University. I said, maybe I could enter it. 3 months, I found out. I started to train 3 months, and I took 4th. And I think it was like 2nd in most muscular and 1 best chest, But anyway, that was 69. And then I pretty much sunk back into power. There was something that actually drew me to power again. It was up at Leaning Tower Y. There was a guy who everybody was talking about. And he said, oh, he's really strong and he's going to do this and that. But what I didn't know is that there was a pharmaceutical in the lining. And I wasn't aware of any of that yet. Because I wasn't aware of that until 72. But I entered the contest, and I figured I'm going to really eat, because I got to gain weight to be in his class. He was a heavyweight, and I didn't want to be a 98. I wanted to go against this guy. So I have 8 and 8 and 8, weighed 210,
So at this point in powerlifting, anything over 198 was heavyweight.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Forgot to tell you that. It was heavyweight after 198. So I entered that, and he was maybe 235 or so. And anyway, we were pretty much tied going all the way into the deadlift. That's when they had the bench press first, then the squat, and then the deadlift. And I remember one of his guys saying, Seno is going to take 550 in the deadlift or something. And I heard him say, I'll follow him all the way to 560 or 565 or something. I don't remember the number. So I said, give me 560. I just went right under that number. And whatever that number...
That was your opening deadlift?
No, it wasn't my opening, but it was the last one. But I knew that he was probably not able to do it. And I did that and beat him. And that, remember too, I had more years at this. I was more practiced at that kind of thing, dealing with what another guy is taking and whether or not what you should take, etc., for your second or third time. But anyway, then I pretty much, that was in like 1970. After that, I pretty much sank back and I didn't do much. And then in 72, that's when the pharmaceuticals came into being, and people would say, don't you know what's going on? And I said, no. What do you mean, uppers? I didn't know. And then I had a doctor talk to me about it. Started with the pituitary and the nitrogen retention, the whole thing, and yes, I did start in '72, and in 6 weeks I benched 500. Now my bench had dropped because I had gotten older, and I was dropping. I knew it, and I wasn't going to be strong anymore. I mean, I was strong, but not as strong as I was as a young man. So I figured, do I want to go on like these other guys are going or doing, or do I want to just exercise and be in the background? And I guess I was too young yet. I was 30, almost 32. Yeah, I guess I was about 32. So that's what I did, and 6 weeks later I did 500, and I just went from there. And I just kept gaining weight, getting stronger, and won another senior national championship in '73, and then I got second in '74 to John Cuck in a different weight class as I started to go up, and then I just piddled after that. But I did enter the seniors in '79. I bombed out.
And at this point, the weight class was a 242.
Oh, they went to 220 and 242, yes. And I was in and it was in 220 I won the national championships in '73. In 242 I bombed out in '79. 1980 I got fourth, and by that time I was 41 or 42, and I said, that's it. I still trained as though there were no tomorrows, but I didn't really enter contests.
Well, that's still a really long career from starting in 61 or so.
61 to 81.
61 to 81.
National competitive level.
Right.
National from 61 to 81. In 61, I did enter a national contest, and or was in 62. 61 or 62, I can't remember. But 81 was my last national level contest. So yeah, I was competing, and then I went on to compete at that strength for another 5 years. Then that was it. It was silly to go on. I was just destroying myself for nothing.
Okay. So you then I'm going to say started to train purely for yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so, now that you've, if you say 1981 was, the last of your real competitive career, we're looking at 30 years later here. So over most of those 30 years, did you train more like a bodybuilder, or how have you altered as the aging process has come on?
This is where I confuse Olympic lifters, bodybuilders, and power lifters. I pretty much would just do a warm-up set, and then I would peak to a heavier set, not a single. I mean, that's when I was really strong. I would peak to a single. But now, in this home style lifting, I would just go to a max set of, say, 15 to 25. And then I would come down and do a lighter set, maybe or two. That's it. And then I would do another exercise the next day.
So were the exercises then basically the 3 power lifts you did? That was the core of what you did?
Yeah, except I didn't do squatting anymore because I had titanium hips. See, I've had maybe almost a dozen surgeries in my life, and about 8 of those have been major. 4, 2 and 2 with the hips, both 2 each. One with the shoulder, one at the elbow, and I've also had the heart bypass. So I've had some majors, and I don't think it's, worth my while to keep pushing for no reason.
No, I think obviously at this point, it's both to train at the level where it's pleasurable and not painful.
Yeah, and also I have to weigh how much good it will do me. I would like that
Cost-benefit
too.
ratio.
Sure, yeah.
No question about it, and I'm in the same territory in a
Sure.
sense that I want to push hard enough to feel it, but
Yeah.
not hard enough to damage it
Yeah.
at this point.
Yeah.
But and of course, on top of all of the tremendously heavy lifting you did, you had 4 years of high school football and 4 years of college football, which was amazing that you made it through those 8 years with no knee damage.
Well, I have no medial cartilage now. I think I do have lateral cartilage, but of course my hips are just plastic and titanium.
Yeah.
Yeah, and my shoulders are fairly frozen. I mean, that's about as high as they go. And my elbows, I had an epicondylectomy, as you can see there, and the other one really needs it, but I'm loath to have it done.
Yeah, well, you've been through plenty of cutting here,
Yeah.
and you know that when you do it, the success can also leave you with less range of motion.
Sure, yeah. I'm aware of all those things, and again, like you say, the cost-benefit ratio. But yeah, it's a great career, and you miss it. You just do. You miss all of the people, all the friends that you made, and some of them stay on, some just through email, and a lot of them have moved away, and of course at this age, a lot of them have passed away too. So I just, anytime I get a chance, like Bill Pearl's in town, and I'd like to see him, I'll go and see Bill.
Right. No, I agree. I've written editorials about it. It's all about the people. And as much fun as the weight lifting and bodybuilding and powerlifting is, it's really the camaraderie and the I'm going to call it the shared obsession that we have that makes for a lot of fun beyond just the workout.
Yeah, it makes us see into ourselves, and because we have these similar experiences, we see into ourselves similarly, and therefore that is a bond that creates a bond.
So now, Bill, you are training in your home gym, whatever it is, 2 or 3 days a week, or what are you doing?
Yeah. I hate to use the word training.
Well, we can't do, with training, as I said yesterday on the phone, the problem is that the 50-pound dumbbells feel like the 150s.
Well, I don't use, because of the arthritis, I don't use free weights anymore. I just have a machine. I do benches and pulls, and it's the seated bench and a bench machine. And I will do that. And strangely enough, for both of those, I can still do a lot. Okay.
You're still strong in those positions.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes I like to try myself and just to say, get a really strong guy and say, well, let's see what you can do, and then I'll go after you.
So you're still competitive.
I'll set him up, and I think he'd have a really tough time. Now, see, even though I can't totally lock out anymore because of my joints, whether it's the push or the pull, just moving it off the pins, I think what I take would be a trial for him. But again, I don't do that often now. I'm not going to do that often, because the more I do that, the more I'm going to destroy myself.
So your usual workout is obviously to work well within your limits, and more for the range of motion and the feel.
Yeah, I have to really toy with the range of motion, because when I go too far out or too far into the body, then my joints are really rolling and feeling it. But if I stay short of that, in the middle, they're short strokes in the center. not at the end, not at either end, but in the center, then I could do those fine. Because then all that weight is on the muscle.
Right, I understand. Especially the stretch position gets to be the one where it doesn't want to stretch.
Right, right. And that doesn't feel good. And then I suffer for a couple weeks at least. And then that interferes with your workouts.
But as the workouts are, and we use the word lightly here because I know you don't agree that they are workouts in your mind, because, but there's a therapy involved both mentally and physically here that's still positive.
Yes, yes, it's positive. I still like to feel that if I go a little heavier, even say I warm up and then after the warm-up, I do a heavy set, then I come back down to lighter sets. I feel that that heavy set has done something for my total body. I feel like it has, all the way down to the visceral. You know, it has pushed blood to the farthest or furthest points, you know, that it could go. Whereas, sort of like, I guess, somebody who's jogging versus sprinting.
Yeah.
Okay? And I see the sprint as, I mean, the guy's going to be way more winded, number one. He's going to get blood to probably more fibers than he will, you know, I know he will, than jogging. So when somebody just exercises, he's jogging. And even though I do that, I still have to reach that ultimate somewhere in the workout, occasionally.
Okay. Well, I think that's we know that intensity is I'm going to say what builds, but I think that at this point, you know, you're absolutely right about the blood flow, but I think it's probably more even an augmentation of your mind.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it is. It does gratify me more, my mind more, to just know that this is still something I feel good doing and something I feel good about myself, and I'm able to do.
I had a short conversation with Bill Pearl a couple of weeks ago, and he talked about training at 80, 81, and he says, yes, I have pain, but if I didn't work out, I would have pain also, so I should continue to work out what I can.
Yeah. Yeah, I do feel that there is a truism there. I know Bill's workouts are more along the line of, you know, set after set of moderate bodybuilding, and so he's going to get more constant blood flow and probably more therapeutic kinds of things than I will get. And mine will become more after the workout's over.
Okay. Well, I think number one, thank you for just an absolutely wonderful hour. And it kind of reaffirms, number one, your position within the sport of 20 years of national caliber competition. So, a pleasure being here this morning, Bill. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Thank you very much.
Okay. Take care. That was terrific.